Hey guys, how you doing? GuanYu007 here, and I'm back with another video. And guess what I love? I love people who are utterly a hypocrite, and then once they realize something is wrong with the system that they quote-unquote promoted, then they double down and go back on everything they said. And the person I'm speaking on, because there are multiple people in this sphere, so let's not get it twisted. There's a lot of people in this fucking sphere that have their own shit to sling for this hideous fucking practice. But one person in particular, just one person, I'm focusing on because we need to go ahead and get this out the way. So I'm going to play some different segments of videos. And I just want you to remember this guy, because when the shit was settled, he realized everyone, such as me, such as Xerxes, such as It's a Gundam, and everyone else who said that these were paid mods, and that these paid mods were harmful to the gaming community, especially on PC as a whole. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
So the Creation Club has arrived.
Oh no, it has arrived. So let's go back to what you first said, sir.
This video is rated mature 17+, not necessarily because of the blood and gore, intense violence, strong language, sexual themes, use of alcohol, or the use of drugs, but rather because we will be talking about paid-for mods, and let's face it, that subject definitely brings out the inner child who just wishes to kick everything over.
So, you hear he's calling everyone a fucking child who's actually looking at this for what it is, which was paid for mods. By the way, this video was on June 12th, so it's 2 months. So let's go ahead and run exactly what he's saying.
And pretty much changes the entire landscape for this sort of concept.
Creation Club is coming this summer for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
PlayStation 4? Really? I mean, have they got round the whole scripting thing, the whole no external resources, or will it? Oh no! Curation. If Bethesda curate this, it may be possible that whatever gets added to the mods via resources will be allowed via Sony, because Bethesda are going to take responsibility for it. This could be a big thing for the PlayStation 4 owners, actually.
See? Even in the infancy, he understood exactly what I understood, which is this is an actual ploy to go ahead and pump these out as DLCs for the PS4 people. Now, when he says, did they get around the old scripting thing, I don't think so. I don't think there's going to ever be a way to get around scripting, but whatever and what have you. So let's go to the next video.
And so we may see an awful lot more content. And this could actually be a great thing. I mean, imagine Skyrim if there were teams out there making DLC-sized lands, new places to visit, and maybe even total game overhauls like Enderall, and releasing them for $10, $15. $15 for a total conversion mod. You've already got the base game, you spend $10 or $15 and you have essentially a whole new game. That's actually something that adds value to us. So there are some potential upsides to this. Again,
Yes, there was potential upsides. Alright, now let's get into what the fuck really happened.
They almost could not have rolled it out in a worse way. I mean, if you'd have said to me, I want you to come up with a rollout for this new creation club that will cause as much drama, as much outrage and whining as humanly possible. This is pretty much what I could have come up with. It almost seems designed to cause a complete meltdown in the fan base and hater base alike. It's so completely underwhelming, and well, everything they're releasing is pretty much available as a free mod. Some of them are actually, I mean, Hellfire Power Armor, it's on the hot files on Nexus right now. I mean, I don't know, I feel like somebody was watching the mods on Nexus and said, right, they've released Hellfire, quick, let's go live now. This'll annoy the crap out of them. And I do realise it may not be negative, it may not be bad, and for people who are on the PlayStation 4, I guess this is good news. You now have access to content that the rest of us have had for a while. You're going to have to pay for it, although apparently you do get some free credits, but you at least get this content. For anyone who's on PC or Xbox, this is at best a joke. I mean, it's just, honestly, this is, they try to paint this as it's not paid mods, and it isn't. Technically, it is not. I totally understand the difference. This is all totally supported, totally tested, and guaranteed to work stuff. You know.
What? Right, because, you know, curation for Bethesda is a thing.
Because this...
Yeah, no.
May see an awful lot more content, and this could actually be a great thing. I mean, imagine
Yeah, that awful lot more content, though.
Free mods. Modding is a major part of the Bethesda Gaming Studios games. It has been for quite some time. Now, people are going to say, but it's not that big on the consoles. And that is actually true, and those are probably a bigger market than PC. Modding can do...
Oh, no. This is one of the things I don't understand. Goodwill is more powerful than DRM. Is it? Is it really? No. Goodwill is nothing like DRM, and DRM is its own different power. Digital rights management is basically everything on Steam. You know that Creation Club fucking update you had to do? You know why I didn't have to do that update? Because I didn't buy my Fallout from Steam. I have my Fallout fully updated. It's already updated to one of the last updates before the Creation Club. And I have my script extender. It works just fine. But, aren't you guys having problems now? I'm pretty sure some people have probably fixed it. But your problems lie with the Creation Club update, which is breaking a lot of script extender mods. But, you know, like you said, it could be a great thing, right?
Evidence of that. The Creation Club is evidence that they're trying to find some way to make a little extra cash. I don't buy the hype that they're doing this just for us and it's there to enhance our experience. They've got to say that because that's the marketing ploy. They're doing it because they think they can make money off it. And you know what? There's nothing more natural than that. It's the way things work. And it's going to happen more and more as modding becomes more and more accepted. As modding spreads to consoles, companies are going to try and work it into their business model. Some will leave it totally free because they know it brings in attention and goodwill. Some will try to turn it into microtransactions. But I think a lot of them are just going to have to find a new way. What that way is, I don't know.
But you do love trying to tell us what that way is, don't you?
An awful lot more content. And this could actually be a great thing. I mean, imagine Skyrim.
Yes, let's just keep imagining a fucking 6-year-old. Is it 6 years already? I think it's a 6-year-old game now. 7-year-old game.
So the Creation Club has arrived, and to be absolutely honest, I was pretty damn disappointed. My initial reaction was mild shock and alarm and profound disappointment. The internet's reaction, however, was... yeah, like pretty much nobody on the planet that I know of thinks this is any good. Let's face it, I may well be jumping on the let's hate the Creation Club bandwagon, but it's a big bandwagon that has a lot of space and it's well deserved. This has been a disaster for a variety of reasons, from the way they released it to what they released. It is pretty damned terrible. Now, some of the things...
No, I'm not even going to go into the some of the things part. Because you, sir, are now...
This video is rated mature 17+, not necessarily because of the blood and gore, intense violence, strong language, sexual themes, use of alcohol, or the use of drugs, but rather because we will be talking about paid-for mods, and let's face it, that subject definitely brings out the inner child who just wishes to kick everything over.
Again, now you're acting like the inner child that wants to kick everything over. Or do you realize that nobody was acting like an inner child? It's sad. It's literally fucking sad. You shield for this. Because you did. You shield for this. You literally said, oh no, it's going to be fine, and everybody else who's opposing this are a bunch of children. Maybe, just maybe, Gopher, maybe the people who are opposing this understand that Bethesda is a lying sack of shit. Understand that ZeniMax is a lying sack of shit. We understand that there was no other conclusion. We understand that the E3 items that you're seeing on the screen right now were the exact fucking items they showed that are just now, they're just putting them up there. That gas rifle, we saw them work it at E3 for the creation kit. I don't fucking get what the hell your problem is. I seriously don't understand why why you were trying to promote it and you saw what they were going to give us. Then, surprise, surprise, you see what they're fucking offering. Now, I won't be surprised if they offer crab armor when the Skyrim version comes out. I'm gonna laugh because now it's just official. You guys shield for nothing, and we literally told you it. This is the bullshit they're trying to do.
Value to the experience with this. Yes, we're going to charge you money, but it's going to be worth it, because in the end, that's what they should be aiming for. All companies should be aiming for that. Now, I know a lot of them don't, but some of them do, and some of them have really taken that to whole new levels. I probably mention this way too often, but companies like CD Projekt Red focus on value, providing the customer value, and that means when the customer pays them money, they walk away feeling like they got a great deal, feeling like they got value for money. And
yeah, and guess what? You don't get value for money when you're fucking nickeling and diming your people. You know why you don't get value for money? CD Projekt Red also controls GOG, but CD Projekt Red also released their game, The Witcher 3, which also had free DLCs, and no surprise, of course, it's moddable as fuck. It's very fucking moddable. Depends on where you want to go, but you could also just go to the Nexus and get the newest mods you want and just go ahead and install them. Easy to mod as well. So it's It's no wonder that CD Projekt Red is on your goodwill fucking discrepancy rant or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But there's a reason for that. They're not Bethesda. They're not trying to sit there and fuck you over. But somehow you went along with this. Like the paid mod situation didn't happen before. Oh, Jesus Christ, you're like fucking Total Biscuit. You're literally like Total Biscuit. And now that you see this is a problem, you're starting to walk it back and realize, oh, well, Bethesda's a company and they have to... Yeah, they're a company which they have investors to please. Who do you think they're going to be more worried about? The people who they think are stupid? The modders who they mistreat? Or the investors that continue to pay them? Let's be realistic here. The gamers that they think are stupid, the larger amount of those gamers, they're going to try to fucking please them as much as possible. Because they're using you as whales. They're using you as... Oh my god, I can't believe I'm putting the free-to-play terms in this. They're using you as idiots. The modders, they've always used as idiots. They've always used them. They still have the fucking clause in their own EULA that still states that all the mods that are paid, all the mods that are made for their platforms, all of their platforms, which includes Fallout 4 and Skyrim, even though the creation clip has a change in their EULA saying that, oh, well, the intellectual properties are still the modders. They only put that there because they put the mods on console. Aside from that, it still states within that fucking same EULA that all rights are reserved to Bethesda Softworks, ZeniMax, and ZeniMax Online. And Bethesda, the publisher of Bethesda, I can't remember. Oh, guys, too many Bethesdas. All right. With that being said, the mods legally belong to them. Still to this day, it still belongs to them. But all right, let's just keep going.
One day we need to be able to get there. Start off with something simpler, something smaller, something on the scale of Falscar. These sort of quest mods that do require a lot of time, perhaps quite a lot of support from voice actors.
No, and this will never happen on the Creation Club. And you know this will never happen on the Creation Club because you have a video of them preloading fucking the assets for the mods, because these are mods, these aren't DLCs. They're preloading the assets for the mods, and they're just putting them on like a DLC platform. It's the same as Automatron or Nuka World. See, once you buy those DLCs, you'll have assets already downloaded in your game. So once you buy them, it's a quick buy, download, key, and then go on. Now, for consoles, it might not be like that. But for PC, it's going to be like that because it's easier to do it that way. For consoles, they will have to do the same way I did when I purchased my purchased my season pass on PS4, and then later on I had a choice to download. The Creation Club might have a choice to download. I haven't actually checked it on PS4. I know it's supposed to be live. I'm not sure though. I just have no fucking reason to go back to PS4 except for probably Call of Duty. And don't fucking laugh at me, bastards. I'm only playing the beta for right now, you fucks. But regardless of that, yeah, you're never going to see that. Besides, there are limited files that they can only use, and we know this to be true now because they fired a modder for fucking saying this. But they can only use 5,000 or 6,000. I think I got it on here, but they can only use 5,000 or 6,000 files. And I love how you use FileScar. Where is the modder who did FileScar? Gopher, you know this. This is common knowledge. We all know this. He does not work for Bethesda, so why are you putting this up? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Here's something from fucking JuiceHead. I'm going to go ahead and let that play out.
Developing their mods, and in quite a few of these instances the mod author did say that they actually feel like they've been able to achieve new highs. And what I mean by that is, since their participation in this program with the assistance of Bethesda support staff, they are really just producing better quality work than what they were doing when they were creating mods for free. So this is really interesting. It's very conflicting to what we're getting on the public side. Obviously right now everyone's hating on Bethesda, looking at the program as a complete and utter failure, and honestly a lot of people are calling for it to be shut down. But from the few people I talked to, it really seems like internally a lot of people are really happy and getting the support you would expect and require when undertaking a large-scale project.
Well, see, the problem with that is, what happens when you speak ill of your boss? I mean, we've seen this with Trump, right? We've seen this with Steve Bannon, fired. Actually, we've seen this with a lot of people who get fired from their bosses because they're speaking ill of them or of the company. You don't sit there and you don't talk ill about your company. It doesn't matter if the company is rotten to the core and you know they're burning kids at the fucking stake. You just don't do that. That's not how corporations work. And now that they've signed a fucking contract, they're under NDA, which means they're under a fucking no discussion clause. And that no discussion clause specifically means they can't talk about the inner workings of Bethesda, can't talk about the inner workings of ZeniMax, they can't talk about any of the shit they have. They can't even talk about what they're getting paid. It's obvious. I mean, we can go around the internet and find out how much does an intern or a developer gets paid from Bethesda, and then we can take some guesses, but no one actually will have hard evidence until there is a modder or a mod author who works for Bethesda who's pissed enough to start spilling the beans and saying, fuck that NDA. But that's the thing that I don't get. It's like, you people think it's all roses and sunshines working for a corporation. It's not. Sure, they're getting paid. And the problem that would occur is, they're getting paid more than they would get from donations. And I get that. I really get that. And for people who are saying, well, donations is a way to have the mod author to get 100% of the profits, that's utter bullshit. Because donations don't work. We know donations don't work. I have a solution that can possibly work, but it would require everyone paying. And I think I'll run through that solution later. But the people who are talking to JuiceHead are feeding JuiceHead a bunch of shit. The quality of the mods that they're making is better than the free mods that they were making. That Hellfire armor is not better than the Hellfire armor from the mod author himself on the Nexus. It's not. And in fact, a lot of people are seeing that a lot of these mods or these structured DLCs for PS4 are complete and utter shit compared to their PC counterparts. Hell, compared to the Xbox counterparts that they can still get for free. And you better knock on wood, Xbox, because at a moment's notice, if they see that maybe we can make more money, your faucet will be turned off.
An awful lot more content, and this could actually be a great thing. I mean, imagine Skyrim if there were teams out there making DLC sized lands, new places to visit, and maybe even total game overhauls. Like,
yeah, and the problem is this is for consoles, so that can't happen. That fucking can't happen. It's a Gundam, and he's the more reasonable person in this, because he realizes this shit is, well, it's shit. It's utter shit. There's just nothing you can say. It is literally utter shit.
Bethesda, it's Creation Club, and you think it's gonna lead to you getting a job. Just remember, the guy who made Falscar was not hired by Bethesda. Bungie hired that dude. Unless you're coming up with something like Falscar that can actually fit in the size of the mod limit, which is impossible. Unless like quantum computing becomes a thing and we go to the next level of PC shit in the next month or two. But point being, if you think your small texture mod, recolor mod, armor mod, gun mod is going to possibly get you in the doors of Bethesda, I wouldn't hold my breath. I just want you to know that. The sad thing is, this is worse than the first iteration for the modders. Simply because before, you got raked over the coals. The modder got like 25% of their mod, but I think they got to keep the rights of their mod. Bethesda and Valve got the most out of it. But at least the modder, I think, still own the rights to their mods and their assets, especially if you create your own, especially if you do your own meshes and textures. I would think you'd want to keep those things for yourself. Like, that would be a real fuck snack to come up with a great mod like, I don't know, one of the Lord of War's armor mods. I think his armor mods are brilliant. It would be really fucked if Lord of Wars actually joined and they took his stuff, gave him one flat fee, shoot him away until they needed something else, made a shit ton of money off of his stuff, and got to keep his work. It's kind of like the music business.
which is exactly what's probably going to happen a little bit later on. But yeah, it is exactly like the fucking music business, which is crazy.
To give you a perspective, Automatron is 50,000. Automatron is 50,000, and modders can only go to 4,000. So if you thought this Creation Club was going to give you some sort of DLC level Falscar, what's that new Fallout New Vegas mod someone's doing? It takes place, fuck, I can't remember. Oh, I'm so stupid. It's really epic and big. If you Google it, I'm sure you'll find it. But that's, nonetheless, it's not the point of this video. Forgive me for filibustering. I have it on reliable sources that the Bethesda Creation Club is actually worse than we all originally perceived. To the point of, I was shocked when I was sent this information last night at around 5 or 6 a.m. I should have got up then immediately because I was livid with anger. And instead, I was like, let me try and sleep. I did a poor job of sleeping, maybe 4 hours. Now, it's already been proven that Bethesda banned a modder because they talked about the storage space of the creation kit, so this doesn't surprise me. My first, let's just say the credible sources are in the gaming industry.
I want to say it's inconceivable that we would think that they would ever make something on the scale of Indorel. It's crazy for anybody to think that, especially Gopher. What made him think that Bethesda, this Bethesda, do I have it up here? This Bethesda.
Welcome here to Bethesda Game Studios. It's amazing to think it has only been a year since you first heard about Fallout 4 at this very event. And thanks to you, it became not just our most popular game ever, but one of the industries. It has simply blown us away, and we're incredibly blessed to have fans like you. Seeing what you've created, not just in the main game with the add-ons and of course mods, it is just incredible. And we're not done yet. We're excited to show you what's coming next for Fallout 4.
Yeah, you saw that? All those people. This is Bethesda. They're not even afraid to use YouTubers who probably didn't give a shit about this to promote their fucking games. But you really believe that somehow these fucking dicks are going to give a shit about the modding community, the gaming community? They see everyone as wallets, and they want your money. And yeah, I can't say I feel that bad for the modders. I really can't. And I can't say I feel that bad for people who are willingly fucking participants of this shit. But again, this is this Bethesda we're talking about.
Support over the last year, but your support of our whole studio really over the last 20 years. There is something else, though, that you've been asking us about, and yes, we've been working on it.
Pay attention to this. Just pay attention to it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But if you modders think that you really own your content, then why the fuck is Bethesda allowed to pimp you out like such? And I think I've said this before. There is no fucking way, none at all, that they should. If you own your IPs, if you own everything that you think you own, there is just no fucking way that they should be able to fucking run over you the same way they're doing. They don't give a fuck about you as a modder. They don't give a fuck about us as gamers. All they care about is money. All they care about is making sure their investors keep coming in and seeing that stupid gamers are fucking willing to go ahead and promote stupid practices. Now I understand for a lot of you who are still for some odd reason still with the Creation Club, and you're saying, it's not so bad, they're just pushing out little garbage fucking mods. Hey, let the PS4 have that. What do you think is going to happen when their next iteration of Elder Scrolls or Fallout comes out? Hell, what do you think is going to happen if they just decide to put it in any of the new games that come out? Any of them. Now, I'm not saying that modding is going to die. No. I'm not like that. Let's be realistic. Modding's never going to die. It can move underground, and it'll still be there. Console modding is still a thing. People are still making custom firmwares and jailbreaking consoles. Just because it's not seen doesn't mean it's not there. It's like Rule 34. If there's no porn for it, if it's a thing, there's fucking porn for it. So obviously, if it's a thing, there's way to mod everything. Period. And modding will still survive. Be it on different platforms, be it not in the public eye, be it making sure it's underground or even on the fucking dark web. It doesn't matter. It'll still be there. So there's no possible way that I'm one of those fucking idiots who think, oh, modding's dead. No. What's happening is they're limiting modding to being a paid thing. That's it. They're limiting modding to be a paid thing. And I'm going to be very honest, and I said this in my last video saying why the Creation Club will succeed. It will basically succeed on the backs of the PS4 community. And it's hard for me to say this, but that's why it's going to succeed. And I still stand by that statement until I'm proven wrong. I haven't been proven wrong yet, so I'm still going to stand by that. But the absolute problem and the absolute reason why Bethesda can keep abusing the modding community as well, the modding community that still makes shit for their games, not for everybody else. CD Projekt Red does not abuse their modding community at all. In fact, no other gaming company abuses their modding community. And then there's a lot of places with paid mods. Minecraft has paid mods. CSGO has paid mods. Fucking Ark Survival Evolved, the fucking indie game guys, they have their own modding community, and they have paid mods. So, what's the deal with Bethesda not allowing paid mods? What's the deal with Bethesda and ZeniMax not allowing modders to make awesome content and just not get paid for it? And there's a lot of people who are saying, oh, mods should be forever free. I don't really think that. No. I think that these are DLCs. These mods are DLCs. And they're keeping games alive. And if you think I'm lying, strip every fucking mod from Skyrim and Fallout 4 and see how many times you fucking play it. Well, that's the end of my video for this part. The last part is just a thought that I've been playing with and how to make sure that the modders are paid or compensated for the work that they actually do. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like this, and not a lot of people are going to like what I'm saying. But just keep in mind that this is just a thought. This isn't in action right now. What I propose is that you have to pay a subscription to the Nexus. You have to pay a subscription to GVA, the Nexus, and everywhere else, Lover's Lab, everywhere where you would get your mods from. And I think the subscription should probably be $10. And the idea is, and like I said, I haven't fully fleshed this out, so just take it as it is right now. It's just tossed out ideas. So it should probably just be $10 a month, a flat rate a year. I think they actually have a program on the Nexus for that, so they are getting money. But I think everyone, not just the people who want to get into the program, I think everyone should pay the minimum of $10, probably $10 a month, right? And that money should go to the modders. And the Nexus doesn't have to say exactly where it's going to. And this can circumvent the whole Bethesda doesn't want the modders to sell paid content, because the modders wouldn't technically be selling paid content. What would happen is, with the supply of income from the Nexus or any other modding area, they would pay certain modders versus their tier on what they make. So that means if you're making like some guns, you would get paid a smaller amount. But if you're making a huge fucking mod packet that are fucking bigger than DLCs like Enderall, then you should get paid a larger chunk. But like I said, this isn't fleshed out because this doesn't cover like whole teams of modders, because some people work in teams. Not a lot of people are just one separate entity to themselves. Some people work with 3-4 other people. Some people work with or they share assets between themselves and other modders and whatnot. This would cut down on the whole he stole my mod type situation as well. What would happen is literally just the sites would get paid and they would distribute the money as needed. I am not sure that these sites are doing this. In fact, I don't think the Nexus is doing that at all. But with this, it's an idea. But with this idea, you can see exactly how the modders could benefit without begging for money, in a sense. Because asking for donations is essentially begging for money. And that is allowed within Bethesda's clause of you cannot profit. Because when you see people begging, it's not profiting, right? So instead of the modders asking for help on projects, they could literally just get paid from the site that's going to host the product. Because hosting the product would instantly get you more traffic to your site, which means you would make more money for your site anyway. But this is just an idea. And if anybody out there has a better suggestion or a better idea, I would love to hear it. But as it stands right now, donations don't work. And there's no proof. No one can give me proof that donations work at all. And a lot of people are pointing out, well, some of the modders have Patreons. Yeah, they have Patreons for their names. They don't have Patreons for what the projects they're working on. And I don't want to just give to a Patreon to a person just so they can live comfortably if they're not going to produce anything for a while. No, I'd rather give it to a site that's actually working and they can distribute the money later on for the person's work. It would make more sense doing that. Anyway, this is Guan Yu 007 signing out, and I just want to say, I myself I don't think the modding community is going to die. I just think it needs to upgrade. It needs to grow up. It does. I think the modding community needs to grow up and realize that it can actually become a business. And this business doesn't need to be shackled by the companies themselves. And the companies know this, and that's the reason why some of them, like Bethesda, will clamp down, like ZeniMax will clamp down and try to make sure you guys aren't paid. I think it's a sad situation. It's a sad state of affairs. I don't want to say that the final solution... Actually, I will say the final solution. The final solution to this would be to stop making mods altogether, because as we're seeing, developers are stealing mods and placing them on the Creation Club. Of course, they're making shit tier versions of them, but this is what the Creation Club, this is what Bethesda.net was made for specifically. Anyway, this is SquanU007 signing out, and I hope you guys have a great day.